Well, I'm down at the first conference of the year down at Sandown, and this is the Carp Society show. I'm on the Angling Trust stand, and I want to discuss now about some of the things that the Angling Trust are doing for carp anglers. And we've got Martin Salter here. Martin, firstly, thanks for joining us, Campaigns Manager for the Angling Trust. Let's talk about some of the things that the Angling Trust do for carp fishing.
Well, of course, the big one, and it started here really at Sandown, was the 3-rod licence. We always thought it was ridiculous that anglers, carp anglers in particular, who can normally only fish with 3 rods on a water, were required to buy 2-rod licences, which will enable them to fish for 4 rods. In other words, spending 25% more than they needed to. It was a bone of contention, so I consulted at some of the forums we had here. We then talked to the Environment Agency, and I'm delighted to say that as from next year, carp anglers' concerns have been addressed. There is going to be a special 3-rod licence, a 50% supplement on top of your normal licence. That is a good deal for carp anglers and specialist anglers in particular. But perhaps even better than that is we've now got free licences for juniors. Because I think everybody, whether you're a carp angler or a specialist angler or a course angler or a match angler, we all want to see more young people get into our sport. So this reform of the rod licence has been good news for everybody. Okay, it's cost us a couple of quid more, but it's worth it.
Well, it's actually, the reality of it is, as a carp angler is concerned, it hasn't cost us more, it's
well,
actually
right.
cost us less, because we're paying for 3 rather than for 4. So immediately there's a saving, and that's a direct, tangible saving that the Angling Trust have saved carp angler spending. That's a great result.
Well, you know what, Robin, you and I have talked about this. An awful lot of what we do at the Angling Trust, a lot of the sort of campaigning work that I'm involved in, it'll involve bass, it'll involve sea species, it'll involve hydropower on rivers. And some carp anglers could be forgiven for saying, well, what could the Angling Trust do for us as carp anglers? Well, the 3-rod licence, as you say, is a real practical example. On top of that, of course, we've got an extra £200,000 of rod licence money gone into the Angling Improvement Fund. That is funding otter-proof fences at vulnerable waters. That's a bonus for carp anglers as well. And I'm delighted to say at the show today, we've recruited more carp anglers into our voluntary bailiff scheme to help support the Environment Agency and clamp down on poaching and fish theft. Big issues that matter to the carp fishing world.
Well, that's probably the 3 greatest issues, isn't it? And I am a carp angler. I look back at carp anglers now, and I say this, that I've actually seen the Angling Trust working, and I will say that I was critical in the past of what the Angling Trust were doing, primarily through ignorance of not actually knowing. And it's very easy to say somebody should do something, but actually there are people doing something, and now the message is getting through. So, rod licence, great. Otter thing, that's always at the top of carp anglers' mind.
Absolutely.
It's always going to be a prickly potato to deal with. Mm-hmm. It's a difficult subject. There isn't, however much we would like it, there's no overnight fix. But the fact that money is coming back from the Environment Agency as a direct result of Angling Trust getting involved in that, that's got to be a tick in the box as well. And like you say, the 3rd biggest concern for carp anglers is the poaching of fish, and the VBS just addresses that so well. But it isn't just that. There's loads of other things as well. General pollution, predation, etc., etc., etc. So from our side of things, it certainly looks like Angling Trust are doing something.
Well, and it's not just about doing something, it's also about being visible, attending things like the Carp Society show, the big one down in Farnborough, making it clear that we are the national governing body for all forms of fishing. And carp angling is incredibly important. It's the single most popular form of angling in this country. And if the Angling Trust can't have a relevance to carp angling in particular, then we're not doing our job properly. What I am delighted to say is that I can stand here now and point to 3 very specific, very important issues that matter to carp fishing, which wouldn't have happened had there not been an Angling Trust. So the more carp anglers we can get to join the Angling Trust, the stronger and more effective we can be for carp fishing in general.
Brilliant. Well, it's fantastic news. I thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
See more good work in the future.
Looking forward to working with you.